Did the Penguins pushback go when Sidney Crosby took a couple of blows to the head? One with a stick that cut his nose, and the other one when he flew into the boards. And there's an article, USA Today, Kevin Allen, saying that for people who are wondering why the concussion spotter didn't take Sidney Crosby out of the game is because he fell into the boards. And the boards is not one of the mechanisms that the spotter can use as a potential cause for injury. It's an elbow, it's a hit to the head, it's a stick, whatever. But the boards is not. So the concussion
How about
protocol,
how about the 3 cross checks to the back of the Jay Beagle hit him on? How about the original collision with Hornquist? I mean, there was. I know there are protocols, and I know that he didn't get pulled, and nor probably did he take a baseline test. But there was probably enough there last night to take him out of the game, at least check him. If it didn't happen in the intermission.
And Kevin Allen's article, you're saying, enlightened the average fan about the spotter, who also does not have any medical history or cannot use medical history as a factor. But
right, so you cannot take into account that Sidney Crosby missed Game 4 because of a concussion. In looking at Sidney Crosby is slow to get up and say, we need to check him out. That
I think there's a responsibility to the trainer as well.
Well, I was just going to say that.
That's what last night. By the rules of engagement, the National Hockey League's concussion spotter and that protocol
in New York
was deemed irrelevant. They could not step in. They had no basis to take Sidney Crosby out of the game because it was no. But that's the rule.
No, but still a bizarre qualification,
right,
isn't it?
But
nobody else
that's the
really
rule.
knew.
The onus that I think automatically shifts now is to the team doctor, the team training staff can certainly take past history into account.
Yeah.
And they were watching the same thing we were watching, and he still didn't get taken out. And Sidney Crosby, I'm sure, said, I'm fine, but I'm not. When we keep talking about this incredible asset that you got to be extra careful about, and it didn't. Every person in the world that was watching that game was wondering why he wasn't being checked out.
Again, the other aspect of this is that we, with the limited amount of knowledge we have about concussions, and I think that's true for the whole world at this point. We've had doctors on our other show, Primetime Sports, to talk about the knowledge of concussions, and you know what? They still don't know enough about all of this. Is that perhaps today's the day that he will feel it more than anything else. And that becomes another concern about whether Crosby will feel the ramifications of a potential hit to the head or a potential concussion, because you don't need a hit to the head to have a concussion. And that you'll have to wonder about that today.
I dare you to find 10 people. So ask 10 people and find one person that's completely unbiased who doesn't think he should have been taken out of the game.
Well, okay.
It doesn't exist.
And,
that person doesn't exist.
Keep in mind, after the Steckel hit way back when, he played the next game and took a hit from Victor Hedman, which people always wonder why he played.
Long before a protocol in place, though.
Gordon. So first of all, that is a surprising new facet to learn about the boards don't count. So it's like ambulances will only pick you up except if you get hurt in a car accident. I don't know. It's just kind of bizarre. It's kind of weird. Maybe that should be revisited. I mean, you would think the players would be on side having that revisited. But after that, like you and Shanny are saying, the Penguins medical staff, the trainers, but in even talking to a guy like Rob Rossi, who's none of that, okay? Mm-hmm. But his point is he feels Sidney Crosby is maybe the most vigilant, most aware player in the National Hockey League about his own health. Mm-hmm. Start of the season, he did miss a couple of games about something that wasn't very visual or visible in getting hurt.
Just because you've suffered a few concussions doesn't make you.
No, but I'm giving you the answer.
Able to,
I'm giving that's what they went by.
Yeah. And I'm countering that with doesn't make you able to properly and unbiased diagnose yourself.
Maybe in some cases, but maybe in Sidney Crosby's case, they feel, given his history, that they believe he is so vigilant about his own health.
Knees,
whatever. I don't know.
Arms, shoulders, elbows. I'm fine with you trying to work your way through it and having an opinion on it, but not with the head.
But he took time off the start of the season based on how he felt. And he felt he wasn't ready to go early on in the regular season.
I think last night was as confusing of a night as we've ever had.
What, because of the concussion thing?
When it comes to concussion protocol and when a player is going to be taken. I can tell you this. If and when a player, a skater, or a goaltender is taken out of a game because of concussion protocol in the Stanley Cup Conference Final, Western Conference, Eastern Conference, or the Stanley Cup final, that coach, who if it's not Pittsburgh, is going to raise hell, citing that example last night.